Good morning. Can you hear me?
A teraz we have some sound issues. We can see you, we cannot hear you. So the question is if you have your mic on.
My mic is open. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Very good.
Hello, Céline. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us at ITAPA. I will just briefly introduce you. We can have this conversation in English, and our distinguished guests online and in the room have the possibility of having the interpretation of what you are going to say. So thank you for joining us. Let me introduce you Mrs. Céline Gauer, who is the head of the Recovery and Resilience Task Force and the Director General at the European Commission. We are really happy to have you here at ITAPA, and we would like to hear from you what are the views of the European Commission on the recovery plan and on the progress of Slovakia in this area. I know that you had a virtual meeting with Minister Heger on Friday, so maybe you will provide us with some update on how Slovakia stands in this field. So thank you again for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Dear Deputy Ministers, Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for inviting me to be with you today at this conference. I'm really delighted to have the occasion to address you. It would have been much nicer to be with you in Bratislava, but this was unfortunately impossible due to the pandemic, and we'll have to do with virtual interaction for now. In such challenging times, I am with you today to convey a very simple message. The EU is with you and stands ready to help Slovakia's recovery. Slovakia, as an open economy, was hit very hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. It suffered particularly from the contraction of investments in international trade. The ongoing second wave put a drag on recovery again, and now the Commission expects Slovakia from an unprecedented fall in GDP by 7.5% in 2020, with a return to pre-crisis income levels only mid-2022. Even more, the crisis has revealed and even deepened some structural weaknesses of the economy. The response of the Slovak authorities to the crisis was bold. The measures included inter alia the rollout of a short-time work scheme, anti-corona SME loans, and the mobilization of research teams with very promising results, such as the invention of this Slovak PCR test. The EU has been standing firmly by your side in this hardship. Already in spring, we helped Slovakia tackle the emergency with a faster and more flexible use of structural funds. Thanks to this initiative, 1.2 billion could be reallocated to severely affected sectors. EU stated rules were simplified to ensure that budgetary support flows quickly where needed. And the SHORE initiative offers more than 630 million of funding to the short-term work scheme that I've mentioned before. Managing the crisis was and remains vital, but paving the way to recovery is even more crucial. And this is exactly what the European Council did in July by agreeing on a Commission proposal on Next Generation EU, a very ambitious support program that will come on top of the multi-annual budget. The Recovery and Resilience Facility forms, with more than 672 billion, the cornerstone of Next Generation EU. I really hope that the European Parliament and the Council will finalise very quickly their agreement on the long-term budget and on the regulation on the Recovery and Resilience Facility. And we had, in this respect, very crucial trilogues taking place this week. This would allow Slovakia, with all the other member states, to tap on the resources of the facility very soon. With the allocation of 5.8 billion in grants, Slovakia will be among the top beneficiaries per capita of the Recovery and Resilience Facility. What is important now is that Slovakia acts very quickly to prepare a comprehensive recovery and resilience plan. I am very well aware of the work of the Slovakian authorities at the moment, and as you mentioned, we have very regular interaction and take stock of the progress made on a bi-weekly basis. And I am convinced that today's event will greatly contribute to the national debate on the plan's priorities. Let me share some general comments regarding the plan preparation, and they are very much converging towards those mentioned by Deputy Prime Minister Hegel. In line with the regulation, the train transition should be at the heart of all Member States' investment and reforms efforts. Over 1/3 of the facility should finance the climate objective and the European Green Deal. At least 1/5 of the funding should be channeled to the digital transition. Second, using the funding comes with an intense sense of urgency. The facility is a temporary instrument, and all funds will have to be allocated by 2023, and all payments will have to be made by 2026. Any money that will not have been allocated and spent by that date will simply be lost. We don't have the N+1, N+2, or N+3 that was mentioned before. It doesn't apply to the facility. Synergies and investment from the different EU funds should be well explored, and double funding should be strictly avoided. This holds particularly true for Slovakia, that is a great beneficiary of structural funds, and will benefit in the next period from an additional 12 billion funding. I see today's conference and the stakeholder interaction as extremely important, because you will be the one bringing projects to life, and will need all helping hands to absorb this vast amount of funds and turn projects into sustainable growth. As we are today primarily dealing with innovation policies in Slovakia, the interlinkages with the green and digital agenda should not be left unmentioned. Let me take just a few examples that can be, in my view, turned into great opportunities. First, to strengthen the economy's resilience, Slovakia would really benefit from increasing the innovation capacity of businesses. This is, for example, the case for the automotive industry that represents a very large share of Slovakia's GDP. Innovation in the sector would help to sustain the challenges that it is facing amid rapid shift towards electrification and robotization. Second, the crisis has increased the need to boost digital skills, and that was already mentioned by the previous speakers. I understand that only 54% of the Slovaks appear to have at least basic digital skills. Reforms leading to improvements in digital skills, investing in digital education, in equipment, as well as improving education outcomes, upskilling, and increasing adult training are needed to underpin the digital transition. Investing in people's skills and addressing the brain drain can increase productivity and reap the full economic potential of Slovakia. Third, the pandemic has laid bare existing weaknesses in connectivity and the digitalization of schools, households, companies, and public services. Only 45% of the rural households were covered by fast broadband internet in 2019. And I understand that the 5G auction has been repeatedly postponed, although it's now to be again on track. These connections are an absolute prerequisite for home learning and working, opening Slovaks all opportunities that the job markets offer. Of course, such investments need to be done in very close coordination with the private sector, because many of them are profitable and can be undertaken by the private sector. Fourth, and that was again mentioned by Deputy Prime Minister Hegel, Slovakia committed to carbon neutrality by 2050, and there is no doubt that the decarbonization will progressively require innovative solutions. Priority areas for the green agenda include reducing the energy intensity needs of the Slovakian industry, supporting energy efficiency solutions in building, investing into renewable energy, and promoting circular economy. Brief, and that's my last example, we are obviously in the middle of a health crisis, and Slovakia also needs to improve the resilience of the healthcare system, alleviate the health workforce shortages, and improve primary care. The Recovery and Resilience Plan is your chance to do all of this. For the economy, for the environment, for improving living standards, to modernize the country and to restart the economy with strong green and digital principles, for creating a vibrant country where young people will be eager to stay. This will be a challenging process, but the good news is that Slovakia will be able to benefit again from this massive funding. It will need to do, and that was again mentioned as well, it will need to do much better in terms of absorption. And it is true that only 38% of the previous MFF funds have been spent so far, and that is far too little. Hence, for Slovakia to succeed, there is a need for an exceptional mobilization of the public administration, of all stakeholders, not only to prepare a very solid and robust recovery and resilience plan, but also to ensure its effective and speedy implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, my main message today is a message of urgency. I am personally concerned that there is less and less time for intensive discussions and for the debate and preparation. Time is not for action. We've been in very intense and productive and constructive contacts with the Slovak authorities in the last months, but now what we need is a more structured and speedier dialogue. We need to move together before the end of the year to a really high-quality plan, and I know that this is really in the on both sides. Let me use to conclude this occasion to reiterate that the Commission encourages national governments to cooperate very closely with stakeholders, social partners, and business in order to make sure that the plan preparatory phase is successful. Employers, employees, small businesses, entrepreneurs will be in the end the one bringing projects to life and matching their local reality. The plan requires really indeed true teamwork at European level and at national level. And I am very glad that I see that this is happening today in Slovakia. I'm convinced that today's conference will bring many good green and digital ideas on the recovery and the transformation of the Slovak economy, which can still find their way into the plan. This will be a great asset for the way forward. So again, thank you very much for your invitation. I wish you all a very successful conference and look forward to continuing our very good cooperation in the months to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Céline. I thank you for very interesting words of yours in relation to preparation of recovery and resilience plans. I know that you will not have time to join us for the discussion afterwards, so I would like to use this unique opportunity to ask you one question. And what you underline is that there is a time pressure and we are under urgency that these plans have to be submitted as soon as possible. So my question to you is when do you expect to see the first plans from Slovak side? A môžem poprosiť ešte kolegov z techniky, aby nám vrátili Céline na obraz.
Thank you very much for your question. As you know, we are in preparatory phase and will remain in preparatory phase until the adoption of the regulation and the possibility for the government to submit formally their plans. When that comes, very early next year, we saw 1st of January, maybe 1st of February, when that comes, then we will have precious little time to approve or reject the plans. So they have the plans, when they will be notified in January, February next year, have to already be perfect, so that we don't have any problem and we don't lose any time for accessing the funding. That means that the draft plans, we expect to see them now. Many member states have already submitted draft plans, and the Slovak authorities, we have gone into detailed discussions on parts of the plans. So now we would really expect to see, in a matter of days, the first draft plans tabled by Slovakia.
Thank you very much, Céline. I hope that we will have other opportunities and that you will be able to join us again at some other occasion. We are planning on organizing a series of similar events in the future, also related to recovery and resilience plans. So we will be glad to welcome you again. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for joining us, and have a good day in Brussels.
Thank you very much. Have a very nice conference, and many thanks again for allowing me to be with you today.